Amy Coney Barrett may be opposed to abortion personally, but that doesn't mean she's an automatic vote against it on the Supreme Court.
Judges can't just wake up one day and say, I have an agenda, I like guns, I hate guns, I like abortion, I hate abortion, and walk in like a royal queen and impose, their will on the world. You have to wait for cases and controversies, which is the language of the Constitution, to wind their way through the process.
But Senator Kamala Harris insisted Roe v. Wade hangs in the balance because Barrett's such a danger to it.
Poses a threat to safe and legal abortion in our country.
Barrett insisted she'll stick to her pledge to be impartial.
Are you lying?
I'm not lying.
Are you going to take that oath and abide by it?
Yes, sir.
Will you ever break that oath?
I will not break that oath.
I mean, just because you happen to be pro-life or pro-choice in your personal beliefs should not be disqualifying in terms of being a judge any more than if you happen to like Obamacare or don't like Obamacare should have any bearing on whether or not you can determine whether the law itself is constitutional.
Asked if she'd rule like her mentor, Antonin Scalia, to roll back gay rights, she said that's not to be assumed.
I have never discriminated on the basis of sexual preference and would not ever discriminate on the basis of sexual preference. Like racism, I think discrimination is abhorrent.
One thing that seems to really bother Democrats is they feel the conservative Amy Coney Barrett is the direct opposite of the woman she'll replace, the most liberal of Supreme Court justices, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Barrett added insult to injury by defending her refusal to say how she'd rule on cases by quoting Ginsburg.
Justice Ginsburg, with her characteristic pithiness, used this to describe how a nominee should comport herself at a hearing. No hints, no previews, no forecasts.
Legal analyst John Hsu.
No judicial nominee is allowed to answer a hypothetical about any kind of case that could conceivably appear before the particular court for whom that nominee is being nominated.
One moment while discussing the George Floyd killing provided an intimate look into Barrett's home life.
My 17-year-old daughter, Vivian, who's adopted from Haiti, all of this was erupting. It was very difficult for her. We wept together. And for Vivian, to understand that there would be a risk to her brother or the son she might have one day of that kind of brutality has been an ongoing conversation. It's a difficult one for us, like it is for Americans all over the country.
A light moment. Barrett illustrated she was discussing dozens of cases over 11 hours without even one note of backup.
Most of us have multiple notebooks and notes and books and things like that in front of us. Can you hold up what you've been referring to in answering our questions? Is there anything on it?
That letterhead that says United States Senate.
Committee members get one more round of questions, then witnesses on Thursday when Chairman Lindsey Graham says he will set a vote. Paul Strand, CBN News, Capitol Hill.